Love the smell of sobriety in the morning. Here we are at the bypass. It's unfinished. It's taking beach traffic around this crap town, and it probably won't be finished until 2026. A very big money project. Okay, Shades of Clarity channel. Welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm underneath the bypass, a little bit of rain. Happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans who have served. We're all proud of you. We love you, especially the Marines that live around my area. Oh, man. So, what am I going to talk about today? Job loss. Yes, for drinking. And if you keep drinking, you will lose your job. Guaranteed. Now, I've never been, I tried to do this video a couple of days ago, so I'm not ripping your idea off, LD. But the wind was so bad, the video was fine, but the audio was dog meat because I don't have my adapter yet for my lav mic. So there's no wind today, it should be alright. Alright, job loss. Yes, I've been there, it's happened. I've never been drunk at work, never been let go because of being intoxicated, never happened. What happened to me was a result of alcohol, and several years ago I had gotten this job as a help desk, helping people set up dial-up. Well, that was more than several years ago, but I went through about 3 or 4 trainers. I just wasn't getting it. My brain just wasn't where it needed to be because I'd been drinking, pretty hard and going in, just not really paying attention to what they were saying. I thought I had enough. I talked my way into the job, and it was just setting up internet connections on the phone. People would call in and want to get their, through this company, get their internet set up, their pop mail set up, all that. And I don't know, I just wasn't good talking and typing, and just, I couldn't chew gum and walk at the same time, but I could have done the job. It's just, I was just alcohol addled. So after being through several trainers, they took me into the office, said, look, we're going to give you one more chance to get this, otherwise we don't know, and it just happened that way. But how you doing? They didn't want to do it, but they had to do it. They needed somebody immediately that could, jump in, and people with more experience, all that. But what I do, of course, I ran straight, stopped off at the liquor store, bought a pint of cheap vodka, and then just drank it on the way home driving, and continued to drink. And then just, I don't know, I stopped for a while, but it wasn't all that successful. So the second time I got a job at the newspaper, actually the company I worked for, I'm back with them. So things can happen, like once you quit drinking, albeit that they're under a different owner. But what happened was, I got a job with writing advertorials, which it was, if you had a local business, say, wherever in the area, you got a photo and a write-up, about 300 words. And it was placed in the ad section. So I was doing this job, and I almost made it 90 days, but some mistakes were made. First of all, my boss, who I didn't really care for all that much, she kept bringing her problems into work, and some days she wouldn't show up, and I wouldn't know what I was supposed to do. I'm gonna sit back down. I'm out of that dude's field of view. So I get this job, and I basically I was told at the beginning that in downtime we can play on the internet. They don't care as long as it's not super excessive. So I installed AIM, Instant Messenger, remember that, on that computer, so I wanted to talk to some sources and things like that, just make it easier so I don't have to pick up the phone. Well, I come in the next day and it's been removed. And I'm like, well, that's weird. Maybe it's just some kind of, so I installed it again. It came back the next day and it was taken off. And I'm like, all right, you better not mess with that. I think I may have put it back on again or something. Nobody warned me, nobody said anything. So that was strike one, I think. And then strike two was I was also writing for a publication. It was called ETC Magazine. It was like local surf, skate, like that kind of publication, kind of quirky, like sort of like the old Big Brother mags. It was racy. People would actually take them off the newsstand around here because they found them threatening. Yeah, idiots. First Amendment, forget it. You don't like you don't like what somebody's printed, you don't have to read it, but you got no right to take the shit off the newsstands. But they were taking it off. Okay, I was writing for this publication on the side. One day I decided, because my boss didn't come in, I asked her boss what to do. She didn't really know, so I sat down and started writing for this extra publication. Well, that pissed off the publisher. Like when he found out about that, he was livid. He made phone calls, the publisher, and that was strike two. So they didn't say anything. I found out about this later after they had terminated me. But I had seen a guy came into the office, a client, and we talked about, okay, this is how much money it's going to cost you for your business. I'm going to write up about 300 words, whatever. So it was cool. We set a date for him to come back to that location. I was going to interview him on site. Now he was from Kinston, which is about, 30 minutes away from New Bern where I was working. So what happened was, on the day that we were supposed to meet, somehow my brain got scrambled up, and I'm sure this had something to do with alcohol. I went to Kinston, to their newspaper, which is, there are 3 newspapers owned under the same company. So I get there and I said, where is Mr. So-and-so? They're like, well, he left. And I'm like, where'd he go? Oh, he went to New Bern. He was supposed to do an interview with some guy there. And I'm like, you've got to be shitting me. So they never said anything. I went back to the office and went about my business, went home. The next day when I came in, they pulled me in and said, we need to talk to you. I opened up the door. There's my boss, her boss, and HR. And they terminated me. They fired me and said, for excessive internet use and writing for other publications on their company time. And I'm like, wait a minute. Nobody said anything about this. Nobody warned me. Nobody said anything. Like, well, it was supposed to be common sense. I'm like, yeah, it wasn't in the materials, the guide you gave me. And I said, as far as internet, I used AIM to talk to people, clients, potentially. They weren't buying it. And then they told me that I had screwed up, and I said, yeah, I did screw that up. So that was the end of that job. And that's the only 2 jobs I've ever been fired from. But it was humiliating and terrible. It was all due to alcohol. I drank when I got fired off from that job. It was awful. Please, people, don't drink. It will only lose, it's just going to go bad. You could lose your job. You don't want that to happen. You lose your job, now you're sitting at home looking for a job and probably going to drink more. But this is Shades. Stay tuned. Come back, subscribe, like, and I'll see you clowns later.